Sadly, over 2 million Kenyans lost jobs in 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic, and many of them are really not yet back to work. If you read the papers on a daily basis, you'll see that industry is still in some significant state of distress. So changing this situation, Your Excellency, requires close collaboration between employers and government through initiatives such as this, and we as employers look forward to that engagement so that we can play a positive role in helping enterprises to recover and also helping those enterprises to create the much needed jobs for our youth. I do sincerely commend our government for taking the first step on the first journey towards employment creation in the initiatives that have recently been launched. So as our economy still goes through a recovery phase, job creation is critical towards national stability. We all know this. It will also contribute to Kenya achieving the SDG 2030, especially Goal 8, which Stephen already referred to. And we also know that the unemployment rate stands at 5.7. The issue is that this is almost twice the percentage in our region, which is sitting at 2.7. We are at 5.7. So we also see the labor market, which is where work in distress. We're still grappling with reduced opportunities and high levels of informality in an economy and in a world that is increasingly complex to operate in. Currently, the numbers of youth that enter the job market annually, which stands at 900,000, is a real concern. Many recruiters in our economy say that they cannot find the skills that they need. And yet we know that there are a high number of unemployed youth. So what is the story behind this disconnect between the needs of the Kenya labor market and the skills that our wonderful youth have? This skills mismatch is a major concern for the Federation. We know also that having a degree or a diploma by itself is no longer sufficient for one to gain employment. We have to look at soft skills, and we look forward to working with the government to address the issue of the soft skills and to be able to have the statistics to inform choices by our young people as to which learning programs they'll undertake so that we train for the economy. We are delighted, therefore, that we are part of this job fair. And we have also taken initiative as the Federation to talk to our members to see if they can open up their doors and welcome our youth, give them jobs, give them learning opportunities, attachments. And right now we have about 500 employers who are willing to open their doors as at next year for our youth. We know this is a drop in the ocean, but it's a step in the right direction. And as we engage government, we'll be able to expand. So this partnership that we're entering today is a partnership that will change the face of Kenya. We look forward as FKE to influencing the curriculums in our TVETs, in our universities, and other learning institutions to address the discrepancy in the skill levels that we have and the quality of graduates. So as the voice of employers, we champion the creation of an enabling socio-economic environment aimed at enhancing industry growth and competitiveness, and through this we're able to have enterprises that can create jobs. Today, Your Excellency, we want to make a commitment as I conclude to working with your government, as I've said, to address specifically areas such as girls and technology, because we know that girls have not taken up enough spaces in the technological world. We want to make a contribution to developing the skill levels of women to take up higher positions in our economy, and also to work with our learning institutions under the government to be able to recalibrate the curriculums that we have so that we also enhance eventually the productivity levels in our country, because we know that labor productivity in Kenya for some reason is actually quite low compared to other countries, and yet we have very highly skilled people. So these are areas that we want to engage in to be able to address and take our economy forward. I want to conclude by thanking you, Your Excellency, and we know that this marks the beginning of long engagement. I want to also thank our members who heeded our call by providing job placement opportunities for Kenyans, with some even going the extra mile to be present here with us today. And Your Excellency, I want to say, as we conclude, that we in the labor sector believe in social dialogue, and that through social dialogue we can find solutions to a lot of the challenges and maybe some of the areas where there's a bit of an impasse between government policy and proposed changes in laws. This we can sort out through dialogue, and we look forward to engaging in the new year. So God bless our government, God bless employers, God bless us all. Thank you. I was asked to invite the CEO of Huawei to address us. Welcome, sir.
His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable RIGATHI GACHAGUA. RIGATHI GACHAGUA, please. Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Mr. Ababu Lamwamba. Honorable Principal Secretary, the Labor and Skilled Development, Mr. Godfrey Katuko. Chief CEO of the Nation Media Group, Mr. Stephen Gitagama. Distinguished guests in attendance, good morning. I am honored to stand before you today, proud of what we have accomplished in partnership with the Nation Media Group. To see so many exhibition stands, to hear of so many jobs being made available is very impressive. I believe it shows the strength of the country, the resilience of the Kenya people, and the optimism amongst the Kenya business. The economy of the Kenya is bouncing back strongly from the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, many of the business was certainly affected, though others took advantage of the Kenya's strong internet coverage and moved to using online platforms. Many people still lost the jobs, needing of increased rate of unemployment. As the market began to stagnate, there has been increased demand. And as the market began, the increased demand for skilled personnel to fill the available job opportunities, especially this requiring digital skills. With this in mind, Huawei has partnered with the Nation Media Group to create this platform that seeks to connect employer to job seekers. Huawei, since its entry into the Kenya market in 1998, has been committed to building a better connected Kenya and will continue to contribute to this country through building digital infrastructure, helping digitalize the government and business, providing jobs and internship opportunities, and transferring the skills. Huawei directly employs hundreds of people in Kenya, indirectly employ over 1,000 or 2,000 the employers. And we train several thousand each year. Huawei, as a global leader in ICT, we are committed to sharing our knowledge and building capacity amongst the Kenyans so they can grow with the digital economy and take advantage of the opportunities it brings to them for the jobs and to improve their lives. I want to commend the President, Deputy President, and the entire government for its commitment to ICT and the digital economy that we have seen so clearly recently during the Jubilee Day celebrations. President RUTO has come out of Kenya, and we are keen to support him in his mission to further enhance the digital superhighway. Huawei runs the many programs aimed to improving the capabilities of the Kenya ICT talent and building a stronger ICT ecosystem. Therefore, under the leadership, employability, advancement, and possibility initiative, commonly referred to as the LEAP, whose the goal of the project is to train 10,000 ICT talent in Kenya each year. For the next 3 years, we will just train 30,000 ICT talent. There are various programs under LEAP, such as the digital trunk, which provided the basic digital skills to the youth in rural areas, and which today we are celebrating the 30 years anniversary. There are other programs such as Seeds for Future and ICT Academy, which are providing advanced ICT course for the university students. And then there were several other which enable youth to provide training to people all across the country, both in urban and remote areas. It requires a joint effort between the provider and the public sector to drive the continued growth and the development of the country. At Huawei, will support local business through different partnerships we have with them. We will continue to work with them in different areas of the business operations, leading to joint success. We would like to thank Nation Media Group and all the company took part in the event for the contributed once again to the development of a great country. To all the job seekers, this is an opportunity that you should take full advantage of. I am sure that you have had the chance to interact with the employers from different companies. And I wish you all the best as you wait for the feedback from them. For this way, who will fill up the roles to which you have interviewed for. I do hope that you will make the most of it. Work hard. Strive to be the best at what you do, so as to not only contribute to the growth of the development of the entity to which you work for, but also your personal development. Thank you so much.
Now, Your Excellency, I will invite the PS Labor kindly to take us through.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable RIGATHI, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts, the Honorable Ababu Namwamba, my colleagues, the PSS present, the CEO Huawei, the CEO Nation Media Group, my social partner, Federation of Kenya Employers, CEO, Jacqueline Mugo. The other one, of course, is Kotu. The Chairman NYS, together with the CEO NYS, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Your Excellency, with your permission, I would like to convey the greetings and the apologies of my CS, the Honorable Florence Bore, who had been invited, but because of reasons beyond our control, she couldn't be here. The message she sent me to convey is that this is a very important event in our ministry, and that she is fully in support of what Huawei is doing, because we have a dual mandate, one of connecting the Kenyan youth to opportunities both within Kenya and globally, and then number two is to provide Kenyan youth with the relevant skills for the modern job market. I also want to recognize my colleagues, Your Excellency. There's the Honorable Jonathan Mweke, is the PS Sports. Maybe, you know, people don't know us, we are many, so please stand. Although you used to be the Deputy Governor of Nairobi. Thank you. And then my colleague, Captain Ismail Madey, is the Youth Affairs, PS. So with your permission, Your Excellency, I'll briefly read these remarks that we had prepared for this occasion. I am delighted to join you today during this National Job Fair, which brings together many actors to deliberate on key policy issues and come up with proposals on how we can address the major issues in the labor and employment space. This job fair could not have come at a more opportune time. It is happening during the very early days of our administration and is aligned to the aspirations of the current government, especially in increasing access to job opportunities for all Kenyans, with a special focus on women, the youth, and the marginalized groups. The job fair is also in line with other job fairs, which the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection has launched across the country with the aim of increasing awareness on public employment services. Allow me, Your Excellency, to use this opportunity to highlight some of the key programs which the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection is putting in place to address the perennial unemployment challenge in the country. The ministry will be implementing a multi-sectoral strategy which aims at collaborating with a wide range of stakeholders from both the public and private sectors of the economy to implement the programs which seek to accelerate employment creation and thereby create adequate opportunities for those who are unemployed and absorb the large number of job seekers entering the labor market every year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is by no means an easy task. It is estimated that on average, close to 1.4 million Kenyans enter the labor market every year. In 2021 alone, a total new jobs created in the economy were 926,000, of which 172.3 thousand were in the modern or formal sector, while 753.8 thousand were in the informal sector. This shows that every year, our economy is unable to generate adequate jobs for participants in the labor market. It is a challenge which we as a government have accepted and one we will rise to. Already, the State Department of Labor and Skills Development has embarked on skilling, upskilling, reskilling in the building and construction industry in the support of the Affordable Housing Program. The program will not only seek to provide much-needed shelter to families, but is also expected to generate jobs. This we are doing through NITA, Your Excellency. Towards this, the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection is in the process of developing a strategy aimed at positioning Kenyans for employment opportunities abroad. The strategy will target to enhance the presence of Kenyans, especially from the skilled and professional cadres, in existing and new foreign labor markets. This will be coupled with measures aimed at enhancing the welfare of the Kenyan migrant workers and continuously improving their terms of employment. For one, going forward, Kenya will only engage in structured labor migration with countries with which we have bilateral labor agreements with. The Ministry of Labor and Social Protection is also spearheading legislation aimed at safeguarding the rights and jobs of welfare of job seekers and migrant workers, and regulating private employment agencies and the recruitment of Kenyans for work outside the country. This is expected to provide a conducive environment for these agencies to promote employment while clamping down on unscrupulous agencies which have caused distress to many migrant workers and their families, and in some cases, death. And I'm happy to report, Your Excellency, that this morning before I came here, I was meeting with an association of those agents, particularly those who take our people to Saudi Arabia, and UAE and Qatar. And we've reached some understanding on the way forward. Towards this, the Minister of Labor and Social Protection is in the process of developing a strategy aimed at, please forgive me. Other measures will include the establishment of safe houses in countries with high incidences of Kenyan migrant workers in distress, and the establishment of a migrant workers welfare fund to offer support to migrant workers in distress. Your Excellency, I'm happy to report that the first safe house will be established in Saudi Arabia to handle the distressed cases. All these measures I have highlighted will ensure safe, regular, and productive labor migration for Kenyans. With these few remarks, Your Excellency, it is my pleasure to welcome the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts to give his remarks, and in turn, welcome you, our guest of honor. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa Waziri.
Your Excellency, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable RIGATHI GACHAGUA, my brother PSS, PS Labor, Godfrey Karuka, PS Sports and the Arts, Jonathan Mweke, and the PS Youth Affairs, Ismail Mali Made, the leadership of Huawei, led by the Deputy CEO, Mr. Stephen Zhang, the leadership of Nation Media Group, led by the CEO, Mr. Stephen Kitagama, and the leadership of FKE, Madam Mugo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am delighted to join you today for this very unique job fair that is themed Empowering a Futuristic Workforce, that has been organized by the Nation Media Group jointly with the Huawei. At the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and the Arts, we are acutely aware of the need, of the significance, of the imperative of empowering a futuristic workforce in Kenya. And that's why we are so excited to be part of this. This is indeed a fantastic opportunity for us to have a conversation, candid conversation, and for employers to showcase employment opportunities, and for us to explore ways in which we can expand employment and entrepreneurship for our young people. Today we will ask ourselves important questions, including whether our young people have the right mindset for the environment we are seeking to establish for them, because mindset is critical for this journey. Whether they have the technical skills needed for now and for the future. Whether they have the professional wherewithal needed to grow into managers, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Your Excellency, allow me to acknowledge the presence of the National Youth Service here, led by the Chair of the Board General and the Director General. Your Excellency, the Ministry has negotiated with Huawei for placement of 500 NYS graduates to be placed in various positions in the year 2023. Your Excellency, the NYS is a pride of our nation in terms of forging a force of young people that is disciplined, that is focused, and also technically competent through the programs that the NYS has run since 1964. And I have no doubt that this cohort of 500 young people will be a good example of just what NYS can deliver, what NYS is made of. And I have no doubt, Huawei, that with these 500, you'll be running back to NYS for more. And I believe that other employers will also find this skilled, disciplined, focused workforce of NYS as a good microcosm of what the young people of this country can do. I also want to acknowledge Huawei for the very unique project they call the Huawei DigiTruck, which Your Excellency have had occasion to visit, and you have had occasion to listen to people from Lolongo and other parts of the city and the country, and they have given testimony of how useful they are finding that DigiTruck, which has already traversed over 25 counties. And it is a DigiTruck that is really an example, Your Excellency, that the Kenya Kwanza program of innovation and the digital superhighway can actually work, and is going to work and will succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, as the minister that has been given the privilege and the responsibility to lead the government's program for the youth, I want to tell the young people of Kenya that you are a top priority for the Kenya Kwanza government. Top priority. And every time I interact with your president, with your deputy president, I'm reminded of that fact, that the youth of Kenya are a top priority for the Kenya Kwanza government. And I know from cabinet to interactions with the president and his deputy that His Excellency President William RUTO and Deputy President RIGATHI GACHAGUA are conducting an orchestra called the Kenya Kwanza Orchestra. The guide of that orchestra is called The Plan. And in that orchestra, the lead tune is Jobs, Jobs, Jobs. That's the lead tune. Jobs, Jobs, Jobs. It is now my singular honor, privilege, and pleasure to invite His Excellency, the gentleman the young people of Kenya love to affectionately call RIGATHI to this stage. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated. The Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts, the ever-vibrant and creative Mheshimiwa Babu Namwamba, the Principal Secretary is present, representatives of employers, the Huawei CEO, our young people, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to join you this morning on the official opening of the Nation Huawei Job Fair 2022, whose aim is to drive policy discussion on employment with special focus on the youth, technology, and innovation. I address this gathering when hundreds of youth are graduating from our universities technical and training institutions across the country. Currently, more than 900,000 youths leave tertiary institutions into an environment full of opportunities for those who also have the requisite skills matching the job demands. These youths here today join more than 5.3 million young job-seeking Kenyans. This represents 38.8% of the 13.78 million youth population. While there may be limited opportunities, research has over the years shown that more than half of the graduates from our institutions meet the requisite skills for the job market. This is why this job fair is an important link between job seekers, job creators, and potential employers or incubators of ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, as a government, we are alive to the concerns raised on the skills gap out of the estimated 900,000 graduates entering the labor market every year. That is why President William Ruto established a State Department for Labor and Skills Development to work with other ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as the private sector to address this concern. Similarly, we are addressing our education system with the future of work in mind. Dear young people, the government remains steadfast to invest in the digital technology as a sure path to our job creation agenda as promised. By the year 2030, research has shown that over 230 million new jobs will be created in sub-Saharan Africa. However, these jobs require ICT skills. It is also important to note that an estimated $130 million investment opportunity lies in digital skills cultivation in Africa. During this period, 50 to 55% of jobs in Kenya will depend on digital skills, and this is an open check to you, our young people. This partnership to train 10,000 Kenyans a year will strengthen digital skills for online jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, our young people, today we also celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the Huawei digital track in Kenya. The initiative has reached 28 counties, providing intense face-to-face training for over 2,500 Kenyans. It complements our work with international tech-based companies like Google, Meta, and others, as well as renowned institutions like Arizona State University. In this regard, we seek to cross-pollinate, incubate, and hatch ideas into successful startups. I appreciate Huawei for investing in Kenya for almost 25 years now. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I appreciate the efforts of the private sector in driving our economic growth and remaining true to Kenya. The key outcomes of this fair will open jobs, opportunities, sharing ideas and experiences, as well as driving us into the job creation discourse. I'm hopeful that this discussion will shape our development policy. To the youth, good education makes you a good employee, but good skills make you the best employer. It is now my pleasure to declare the Nation Huawei 2022 Job Fair officially open. Says, I agree with you. You are spot on. The Kenya Kwanza administration is about jobs, 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 and our whole conversation surrounds creation of employment. When I got this invitation, among so many of the invitations that I receive daily to attend various functions across the country, I did not even read the first paragraph. In the second sentence, it was clear that this function is about job creation. I did not even read the rest of the invitation because it is not necessary. Where jobs are being created is where President William Ruto and I will be. And I've said many people ask me all the time, how would we become friends of your boss, President William Ruto? And my answer is very simple. If you want to be a friend of President William Ruto and the rest of us, create just 5 jobs. You become his friend instantly, because that is the elephant in the room. The unemployment crisis in this country is a time bomb. And therefore, any investor, any entrepreneur, any organization that has a program that will create an extra job is our natural partner and friend. I therefore wish to celebrate Huawei for the good job that you are doing. You are our friends, you are our partners. We'll be available to you at all times to discuss job creation. We are called away. Anything that creates jobs is a priority for the RUTO administration. And therefore, I want to say how delighted I am to have had the opportunity to come and witness a conversation around job creation. The CS has said the importance of the NYS. You are preaching to a bishop. I am a graduate of NYS. We were there in 1985 at Gilgil for a basic training course. And it's a wonderful service. And I'm so happy that Huawei has agreed to tap from the skills available in NYS with a background of people who are disciplined. A combination of skills and discipline, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, you know. And I'm happy with the good work the NY is doing under the Director Martina Sagwa, who is a friend of mine. We were together, and the General. Hata mimi ni mtu ya uniform. So you are doing a good job and you continue, and we encourage other employers to tap from the NYS. Going forward, our Cabinet Secretary, we want to have a discussion with government ministries and parastatals and other state corporations to have a concrete plan on how to remove our officers from the security forces to go and deal with crime. And we can have NYS personnel man those offices at a fee. They shouldn't be free, so that we can create a revolving fund to train more people. That is a conversation that we want to have. That we don't want our officers from the National Police Service. We want them to go and fight bandits. We want them to go and fight criminals. We want them to go and deal with the eradication of crime. And the NYS personnel, because they are disciplined, they can do most of the work in terms of controlling people coming in and out of buildings. But we want to have a conversation about payment. We don't want them to offer a free service, so that that money can be invested within the service to train more people and give people more skills. So that is a conversation that we have. It has been there, but nobody has really followed it up properly so that it becomes an official government policy. And that is something that we intend to do from there. So I really want to say thank you very much. We are very excited. I hope the young people out there who are looking very hopeful will go home with something to celebrate for Christmas. So with those very many remarks, may I take this opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much.